I'm Wadi, and I'm gonna be talking about racism in America. In June of 2009, I came to America as an immigrant from Colombia. Besides all the new things I was introduced to, like a new language and school, I noticed that America is a country full of people from different backgrounds and countries. As time passed by, I started to learn new things about each culture and their role in society. I also realized that much of a racial turbulence occurs in very tepid ways in everyday interactions. It all started one day when I heard a white kid in school tell another kid to not hang out with a Mexican kid. Before that comment was made, I thought that racism was an old thing from the 1800s and that we didn't have that problem anymore. However, that's when I started to ask myself if racism was still a major conflict in our society. It turns out racism is very alive in our community. Studies show that police are more likely going to stop and frisk Mexican and Hispanics and black people instead of whites. In 2014, 51% of Americans expressed anti-black sentiments in a poll, which shows that we still have major racial issues in this country, and we have to stand up, take action, and change that. It's very frustrating for me to see people judge others because of their race and culture. I think they don't like other cultures because they just don't know it very well, but if they actually took the time to have a conversation and talk to each other, they will become friends and familiar to each other. So it's all about getting to know where you're coming from. So we should continue our effort to promote cross-cultural racial understanding in America. And through multiple interactions and conversations, we can begin to create a language of exchange. Also, remember to try to stay away from stereotypes because they're not always true. And sometimes, just because you're Asian, you're not smart or dirty. Just because you're Hispanic, you're not illegal. Just because you're black, you're not athletic. Just because you're white, you're not rich. So, each different culture has its own unique things and values. And we just have to accept it and understand them. And at the end of the day, there is a beauty and difference in every single person. And we just have to completely avoid racism and try to reduce it as much as we can. Boom.